just can't believe he was almost killed. It is such a miracle that he's alive. First up is the assassination attempt on President Trump. Lots of presidents these days. And I don't know what to say about it other than it was upsetting, outrageous, and there needs to be accountability. A man is dead. Trump was almost killed. 2 other American citizens were almost killed. They were severely injured. I hope they're doing well. I mean, I think they're stabilized, but shooting wounds, I'm sure it's going to take a long time to recover, and it's not going to be pleasant. And of course, everyone who was there was terrorized as a result of the shooting event, where, again, Trump barely made it out of there alive, demonstrated he's a hero with pictures like that, his standing up and having the presence of mind to reassure not only the crowd but the American public that he was okay. And of course, all of this is the result of a catastrophic failure by the Secret Service to protect President Trump. Inexcusable. The more we learn, the more outrageous it is. And you can be sure that Judicial Watch will, we've initiated a massive investigation into the Secret Service failure. We already have upwards of 20 open records investigations, requests at the federal, state, and local level over this shooting. Because I don't know about you, I don't trust the federal agencies, the FBI, the Secret Service, Department of Homeland Security, its mother agency, even Congress. Where's Congress been? We've been highlighting how the Secret Service has been a mess for years. We've demonstrated it time and time again. And the media, of course, is always going to want to move on. If it were a Democrat president, God help us, or candidate, God help us, they would certainly be highlighting day after day the speech that they would tie to Republicans and conservatives that they say led to the shooting. Now, by all accounts, let's say based on initial reporting, I suspect this shooter is going to be kind of like a John Hinckley, in the sense that he was just wanting to shoot someone in a prominent place or engage in some type of political violence, because some of the indications are that he was researching Biden as well in the RNC and maybe even the DNC. So who knows? But there's been this extremist language around President Trump that invites violence. And, before they bury it in the memory hole, I think it's important we time and time again watch what happened that day, to remember what the terror was, and to assure it so that we can be assured that we've taken steps that it never happens again. I mean, I don't know, where were you when the shooting occurred? Share your thoughts below, share your stories below. I have to confess, I was taking a nap. My phone started ringing, my wife started yelling from upstairs. Trump's been shot, he's bleeding. And so I turned on the TV, and Fox just had the wall-to-wall coverage, obviously, but it wasn't until almost 25 minutes after I turned on the television did they play the unfiltered video where you heard all the sounds and such. And this is a video I want to play for you right now.
If you want to really see something that's said, take a look at what happened.
Move to spare. Hold. When you're ready. On you.
Ready?
Move.
Up.
Move. Hawkeye's here. Hawkeye's here. Move it to the stair. Stair, get ready. Stair, get ready. We ready? Shooters down. Shooters down. Are we good? Shooters down. Shooters down. Are we good to move? Shooters down. We're good to move. We're clear. We're clear. Let's move. We're clear. Let me get my shoes. Let me get my shoes.
I got you, sir. I got you, sir.
Let me get my shoes, sir.
Hold that in your head. It's bloody.
So we gotta move to the bus. Move to the bus.
Let me get my shoes.
Okay, my shoes down. Get the shoes. Watch out.
Wait.
So, a lot of heroism going on there. Obviously, individual agents who were willing to defend President Trump with their lives by shielding him with their bodies. They didn't know how many shooters were out there. They got the clear to go. I wish they had moved quickly, or more quickly, but they moved as quickly as I guess they thought it was safe to do. There's the picture of how close the bullet came to him, or bullets. Just incredible. It really is a miracle he's alive, as he said. I guess he described it at the speech last night, or his big RNC convention speech. He recounted what happened to him. Let's play a little bit of that.
Let me begin this evening by expressing my gratitude to the American people for your outpouring of love and support following the assassination attempt at my rally on Saturday. As you already know, the assassin's bullet came within a quarter of an inch of taking my life. So many people have asked me, what happened? Tell us what happened, please. And therefore, I will tell you exactly what happened, and you'll never hear it from me a second time because it's actually too painful to tell. It was a warm, beautiful day in the early evening in Butler Township in the great Commonwealth of Pennsylvania. Music was loudly playing, and the campaign was doing really well. I went to the stage, and the crowd was cheering wildly. Everybody was happy. I began speaking very strongly, powerfully, and happily, because I was discussing the great job my administration did on immigration at the southern border. We were very proud of it. Behind me and to the right was a large screen that was displaying a chart of border crossings under my leadership. The numbers were absolutely amazing. In order to see the chart, I started to, like this, turn to my right and was ready to begin a little bit further turn, which I'm very lucky I didn't do, when I heard a loud whizzing sound and felt something hit me really, really hard on my right ear. I said to myself, wow, what was that? It can only be a bullet. And moved my right hand to my ear, brought it down. My hand was covered with blood, just absolutely blood all over the place. I immediately knew it was very serious, that we were under attack, and in one movement proceeded to drop to the ground. Bullets were continuing to fly as very brave Secret Service agents rushed to the stage, and they really did. They rushed to the stage.
So I want to there's this animated video out there that shows how close Trump came to losing his life. Is it exact? I don't know, but it looks close enough for me and worth sharing with you. Look at this video here.
Take a look what happened.
Can you imagine? So the immediate question that arose, I mean, I just can't believe he was almost killed. It is such a miracle that he's alive. You know, I'm honored to consider him a friend. I just can't believe it happened to him. You know, I know they wanted to kill him, meaning the collective extremist left, and whether this person was a creature of that, it remains to be seen. I know they wanted to deny him Secret Service protection. I know they wanted to jail him. They used the worst language in the world to describe him, inviting violence. But that it happened to me is so incredible. And it's so incredible that only government failures could have resulted in it. Maybe something worse. Some people are concerned it was worse. But you know, my instinct initially, until all the facts say otherwise, is that it was a government failure of monumental proportions. The Secret Service this shows a collapse of security in every conceivable way. The only thing that seemingly went right was the reaction of those agents to him to protect him. And even then, as we'll discuss later, people are asking the question, well, why were there agents there who weren't tall enough to protect him? On that video where he says, fight, fight, one of the reasons we were able to see him was because the woman who was protecting him there was so much shorter than he was. All the other men were as tall, if not taller. And the biggest question is, how did the shooter get within shooting distance of former President Trump? There's no explanation that doesn't show anything other than incompetence, a failure of leadership, a failure in all strata of the Secret Service decision-making process. Now, let me be clear here. Every protectee of the Secret Service, President Trump, President Biden, the former presidents Carter, Clinton, Bush, they should all presume that the agents around them obviously will put their lives on the line for them. That's not the issue. The issue is whether the agency is capable of defending against even not a sophisticated threat, but a basic threat from the outside, a shooter like this 20-year-old kid who cased the place, was there an hour early, this is what the reports are, in a way, and was photographed and was seen to be a person of concern, had more direct, the Secret Service had more direct warnings of him being a person of concern, 25, 26 minutes, whatever the time frame was beforehand. The kid's on the roof. People are seeing he's on the roof. Local police saw he was on the roof. Warnings went out, and he still got the shots off. And even then, you have to wonder, was the response quick enough? that he was able to get not one, but two, but three, four, five, six shots off? How did that work? And here's some video of the crowd pointing out where he was. So there, people were panicked around the building. Let's show that video of him, the video of him up on the roof there from the crowd perspective.
Look, they're all pointing.
The Atlantic, maybe the Pacific.
Yeah, someone's on top of the roof. Look. There he is right there. Right there, you see him? He's laying down. You see him?
Yeah, he's laying down.
And so I'm here with you fighting like hell to get a senator.
What's happening?
And to make sure we take back the White House, because if we do, we're going to make America better than ever before. We're going to make it.
Yeah, look.
And it's
There he
not
is.
easy, because we have millions and millions of people in our country that shouldn't be here. Dangerous people, criminals. We have criminals. We have drug dealers. We have people that should not be here.
Right on the roof.
It's much tougher than it happens.
You went right on the roof again.
And then, you know, the crowd went into a panic. Here's a follow-up video.
And you know, that's a little bit.
He's gonna get him!
So there's the gunshot, you know, unbelievable, unbelievable. I mean, there was an interview by the BBC that came out almost immediately of a guy who looks like he was tailgating outside the so-called security perimeter, which was a piece of distracting information put out there by the Secret Service to suggest they didn't have authority or responsibility for the buildings where the gunman was. And I did you know, I'll show you the video of me watching the video, because it's, you know, you're going to share how I look and feel in this next clip.
So we walked up, and probably 5 to 7 minutes of Trump speaking. I'm estimating here. I have no idea, you know. But we noticed a guy crawling, bear crawling up the roof of the building beside us, 50 feet away from us. So we're standing there, you know, we're pointing at the guy crawling up the roof.
And he had a gun, right?
He had a rifle.
A rifle.
We could clearly see him with a rifle. Absolutely. We're pointing at him. The police are down there running around on the ground. We're like, hey, man, there's a guy on the roof with a rifle. And the police were like, huh, what? You know, like they didn't know what was going on. You know, we're like, hey, right here on the roof. We can see him from right here. We see him. You know, he's crawling. And next thing you know, I'm thinking to myself, why is Trump still speaking? Why have they not pulled him off the stage? I'm standing there pointing at him for, 2-3 minutes. Secret Service is looking at us from the top of the barn. I'm pointing at that roof, just standing there like this. And next thing you know, 5 shots ring out.
So you're certain that the shots came from that guy on the roof?
100%. 100%.
And he was up there for a couple of minutes.
He was up there.
You saw him up there for a couple of minutes.
Absolutely. At least 3 to 4 minutes.
And you were telling the police and the Secret Service.
We were telling the police. We were pointing at them for the Secret Service, who were looking at us from the top of the barn. They were looking at us the whole time when we were standing by that tree.
Inexcusable. What's the Secret Service supposed to be? If they're not doing that sort of basic recon and surveillance, what are we giving them the money for? If I were President Trump, frankly, if I were President Biden, I'd have private security. Working, if it could be done, I'd have them working with the Secret Service. Obviously, you can't compare to their, they've got all these assets that they have, evidently, which they weren't using. You would think there's aerial surveillance, evidently not. You think to be thermal imaging or the kind of these sophisticated things you see in the movie? Evidently not. Did the sniper respond in time? I mean, he took out the shooter, but the shooter got 4 or 5 shots off. How'd that work? And again, this is why Judicial Watch is doing its independent investigation here. because the Secret Service, time and time again, can't be trusted. You have the Secret Service director out there, basically putting up chaff, right? Trying to distract from the agency's failures, suggesting the local authorities had jurisdiction over that building, it was their fault, suggesting that they couldn't have had people up on that roof because of the slope of the roof was too significant, so they wouldn't have been up there. I mean, A, first of all, they didn't have to be up there to secure it, and B, if that's too significant for the Secret Service to manage, then we got more problems than we can imagine. And Judicial Watch, over the years, has demonstrated time and time again their issues with the Secret Service. Here's our statement on the, and then of course we have all this anti-Trump hatred that invites violence and encourages violence, not only against Trump, but against his supporters. Every Judicial Watch supporter and every patriotic American is praying for President Trump, his family, and the family of the Trump supporter murdered. Of course, those who were injured as well. The radical left has attempted to mass murder Republican congressmen, as well as Justice Kavanaugh and his family. And recently, Democratic leaders, through unhinged rhetoric, false allegations of misconduct, proposed legislation, and sham prosecutions have increased the risk of assassination of President Trump, as well as violence against his supporters. Americans can be assured that Judicial Watch has already initiated an independent investigation into that assassination attempt. So as I said at the top, we have 15 to 20 Freedom of Information Act requests, and our investigations are continuing. And we have this demonstrated record of Secret Service corruption, incompetence, bureaucratic bungling. Remember the Obama chef who died in the pond outside Obama's home? Just that example, where the Secret Service obviously responded to the woman who swam away after she says after he evidently went under. She ran up to the Secret Service post, and they immediately went to get a boat there for emergency purposes. The boat, they couldn't get to work. They went to get a second boat, Secret Service boat. They couldn't get it to work, and they had to borrow the groundskeeper's boat to go out and try to rescue the guy. Of course, it was too late. Joe Biden's significant interactions with the Secret Service essentially include having his dog, allowing his dog, not doing anything once his dog did it, or dogs attack the Secret Service 25 times or so. And what was the reaction of Secret Service leadership? Shut up. Don't tell anyone about it. That's what they told the underlings, men and women at the line. Imagine working at that agency where the protectee is literally attacking you through his dog, and your bosses don't do anything. And then you have this controversy over DEI. I mean, you saw the video of that woman. I mean, was she big enough to cover President Trump? I mean, let's play the video of those Secret Service female agents outside of Trump's truck again. But does that reassure you what was going on in that spot? You know, I went and did a video about the DEI hiring at the Secret Service as described by their own agency in this video. Let's play it.
Hey everyone, this is a screen capture of the United States Secret Service diversity page. Many people are concerned about their DEI initiatives, especially in light of the terrible assassination attempt on President Trump, where they had agents who were overweight and short-statured, happened to be female, trying to protect President Trump. They may have performed heroically, but people are asking whether they were the right people for the job, given the job's requirements. And this is what the Secret Service diversity page says. The Secret Service attracts and retains professionals of all backgrounds and experiences while also providing an inclusive environment. This allows for a strong and agile workforce while helping each individual realize their full potential. Well, what should be the goal? Realizing someone's full potential or protecting the people they're supposed to protect? And if it means making sure that you don't have someone who's too short or otherwise ill-equipped to protect someone like President Trump, who's a big man. He's taller than I am. He's as big as I am. It's unbelievable that they would not only risk those women's lives by putting them in situations where they might not be otherwise be able to be effective, but also risk President Trump's life and the lives of any other protectee.
We're right. You know, and the left went crazy when I posted that video. They went crazy. And of course, they didn't respond substantively to it. I wasn't attacking the individual agents. It's the Secret Service I'm attacking, putting those agents in that position. And we're not allowed to ask questions of what our government does? Here, I'm going to stand up. I'm going to stand up. Well, there we are. We got a video. So I'm a little bit under 6 feet. So an agent's shorter. What is this, 5'7", 5'6"? Are they going to be able to protect me? Shield me completely? I mean, if I duck down, maybe. But that's not the way it's supposed to work, I would think. There are different physical fitness standards for female agents. So yeah, they're not expected to carry or be able to meet the same strength standards a male agent has. Now, if they're doing neutral work, I guess, maybe that's not an issue. But they have to be able, it seems to me, to be able to move the protectee. And they don't just necessarily move him in the sense that they guide him. They may actually have to lift him, especially if he's injured. And then the most heroic thing they do is protect these protectees, or be willing to, with their bodies. And if they're not tall enough, I mean, the protectee is at added risk. The agent's at added risk because that's a target of opportunity. So, well, I'll shoot where the agent is that isn't as tall as the protectee. So this is an example where it's self-defeating, dangerous DEI. That's the shorthand of describing it. Push. It hurts everyone involved. It hurts the agency, hurts morale in the agency because it looks like people are being placed in certain situations not because of their skill set, but because of their gender or other statuses. Standards are lowered. That's the concern. And the question is, are people being put at unnecessary risk? But is that the issue here? Maybe, it's for the grace of God that there was another shooter and that it didn't have to come to this. It didn't have to come to the issue of, well, was that agent tall enough to protect Trump if there was another shooter? Thank God it didn't have to come to that. But that's a question that citizens should be asking. Congress should be asking. What's Congress going to do about all of this? I mean, we've been shouting from the mountaintops about the Secret Service for years. Look up Ron Kessler, a journalist and author. He's been writing about the Secret Service and the secrets of the Secret Service. It's a government agency like any other government agency. They've got great people at the Secret Service. I've visited the White House often, at least when Trump was in office. And I don't remember if there were female agents around Trump at the time, there might have been. I mean, you could have female agents who physically can do the work. I'm not saying you can't, but I'm just saying let's make sure they have a standard that would reassure the public that they can do the work, as opposed to a standard that's so lowered that's just there to allow females to succeed in terms of getting the job, as opposed to doing the job. That's the big issue. And I'm not going to... We can't stop telling the truth about this, my fellow Americans. We can't. People's lives are on the line. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button and like our video down below.